Some of you have been asking me to cover Moto phones recently, and Motorola actually reached out with one of their new phones. So this one, they've actually done quite good with it, so let's unbox it and see what it is that Motorola is offering here. This is the Motorola One Macro, and in this video we're gonna unbox it and take a very quick detailed look. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, please consider turning on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. So this is the box the Motorola One Macro comes in. We have the standard Moto branding to the front, no picture of the phone. Instead, we actually have the picture to the back. This shows the camera layout of the phone. Down at the bottom, there is some info. We get 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage here, and this is the space blue variant. The sides have marketable USPs or selling points, AI camera, macro vision, and more. Now cutting through the seals, opening up the box, we have the Motorola One Macro itself. It comes with a soft silicone case. Let us get it out of that and peel off the front sticker. As I mentioned earlier, this is the space blue variant. It has a glossy gradient back. Let us now switch it on and set it aside for the time being. This box, it doesn't really have anything. Then there is a SIM ejector tool, some regular leaflets, a 10-watt adapter. Motorola calls it rapid charge, really. Finally, we have a USB Type-C cable. So that's it for the box contents. Let's now get back to the Motorola One Macro. So what's the deal here? Well, the highlights, let's start with the cameras. That's what the USP is after all, right? We have 3 cameras to the back. The one to the top, that's macro vision, a 2-megapixel sensor that is supposed to be better than all other macro implementations we've seen from the competition. It's supposed to allow us to get the closest to the subject. The next one, it's a 13-megapixel sensor with a f2 lens. It's got support for face detection autofocus, and there's also a laser assist for autofocus. That's the one just above the flash. This one here, it's a depth sensor. So now, looking at the images themselves, it seems to be a decent camera for the price. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you the price now, did I? This one, it's priced at $9,999. So for that segment, the camera, it seems good, doesn't it? There's a reasonable amount of detail, the colors, they seem good, the dynamic range, it's average. Now with the macro camera, the Motorola One Macro, it can go closer than the competition, like I said. Now this is a macro shot from the One Macro compared to a macro shot from the Realme 5. See how much closer the minimum focal distance is? The image also seems a little better, doesn't it? Here's another example to give you a better idea. So Motorola seems to be onto something here. The macro sensor does seem to outdo others in the segment. Motorola also allows for video to be shot using this macro sensor, and they have electronic stabilization here so that it is actually usable footage. This is full HD video. There is stabilization, so the footage is pretty stable. The quality, I wouldn't call it the best, but for this segment, I think it's pretty good. The depth sensor helps out with portrait shots like this one, and portraits are also available with the 8-megapixel f2.2 selfie camera. It's pretty basic, but gets the job done. Now the camera app here is from Motorola, so it allows for some of the regular Moto features like spot color, which basically keeps the subject in color while making everything else monochrome. And then there's cinematograph, active photos, which is Moto Speak for live photos, which is available with both the regular as well as macro options. Apart from this camera app, we have Moto Actions, so double twist launches the camera app, double twist again switches between the selfie mode and the regular camera, chop chop turns on the flashlight and turns it off again. We have peak display to provide information with the screen off. We get one button navigation that's quirky but yet really intuitive and fun to use. There's one hand mode, and there's a lot more. We've seen all this before on other Motorola phones, but barring these features, there are very few additions. It's pretty much all there is that Moto's really added here. Everything else is basic stock Android Pie. The One Macro is not part of the Android One program, but Motorola is still promising an upgrade to Android 10 and 2 years of security patches. The stock interface here, it is coupled with more than decent hardware. This phone is powered by Mediatek's Helio P70 chip. This is a solid performer. We've seen it on many other phones in the past, and it has managed to deliver every time. It's paired with, like we've seen already, 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. So the user experience here, it was pretty snappy. Apps opened up quick. With day-to-day tasks in my time with the One Macro, I didn't run across any major lag or any kind of hiccups for that matter. Even multitasking was surprisingly smooth. The fingerprint scanner, it's a physical scanner, it's present to the back. It was quite fast too. There is support for face unlock via the selfie camera, and that managed to work as expected. For something as intense as gaming, we've seen how the Helio P60 and its higher clock sibling, the P70, how they've both fared in the past. So it was no surprise that the One Macro did not pose any issues with playing games. Now, it was quite a pleasant experience, and another reason for this pleasant experience was the display. This display, Motorola is calling it a Max Vision panel. It is an IPS LCD with a 19:9 aspect ratio and a tiny water drop notch up top. The resolution is only HD+, so it's reasonably sharp. Can't really complain given the segment. That said, it is a good quality display, it's lively, the viewing angles are excellent, and there is support for wideband L1, so streaming HD content from the likes of Amazon Prime and Netflix, that shouldn't be an issue on this 6.2-inch panel. The One Macro should also last quite a long time given that there is a 4000 mAh battery underneath, and this 6.2-inch HD Plus panel coupled with that P70 and stock Android should make for decent battery life. For charging, a 10-watt charger is included in the box. The port is USB Type-C. Along with this port, we get the primary mic and speaker here. The power and volume keys are present to the right. The headphone jack and secondary noise cancelling mic are present up top. A hybrid tray can be found to the left. The phone's just under 9mm thick, but that thickness isn't something that you're really gonna feel because the edges do curve. The One Macro does really feel comfortable in hand. The 186-gram weight also has a role to play in that. The back being glossy plastic does pick up smudges and fingerprints like nobody's business. It's very easy to pick up smudges here, but that's a common con with most phones in this segment. Since this gradient glossy plastic back is a very common option brands go with in this segment. It does look really nice though. So overall, for the price, Motorola seems to have put together an excellent stock Android option that's not a compromise. Usually it's if you want stock Android, you can take a hit on this and get this phone. That's at least how Moto phones have worked in the past. But this one, it feels very competitive even without stock Android. But with stock Android, it feels like Motorola wants to take the Indian market seriously again. Now, if that's the case, the One Macro seems to be a very good step forward. I'm gonna test this one out and I'm gonna come out with a full review on this. Now, before that, I wanna know what you guys think. What do you feel? Do you feel this is an excellent option from Moto? Do you want to see any other video about this phone? Do you want to see any kind of comparison? Do you want to see any other in-depth coverage on this? Let me know in the comments below, and also whatever you feel about this phone, leave a comment below. And with that, we get to the end of this unboxing video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.